flipping through the newspapers, switching through multiple news channels, exploring different websites and online mediums for relevant news? Keeping up to date with important news is not only time-consuming but also requires meticulous upkeep of notes for thorough revision. With a limited period in hand and abundant resources to study from, do not let current affairs come in the way of your prelims success. Join the PT 365 program by Vision IAS and advance in your preparation for current affairs. Starting on 9th January at 5 p.m., this 20-day course offers comprehensive coverage of 1 year of current affairs in 60 hours. Join for improved knowledge with complete coverage of The Hindu, Indian Express, PIB, Economic Times, Yojana, Economic Survey, etc. Doubt-clearing sessions and mentoring for thorough knowledge. Access to Sandhan personalized test with 25,000 plus questions. Access to live and online classes for flexibility in timing. It's time to devote your energy to smart learning and not running. Enroll today and excel in UPSC prelims with a strong command of current affairs.
Hello and welcome to this edition of News Today. Without delay, let's have a look at the headlines first. Internet shutdowns in 2024 report released by advocacy body Access Now. Ministry of Road Transport and Highways released its annual report 2024-25. Meeting of Western Zonal Council discussed contribution of Western region in India's economic growth. UNCCD releases report on land restoration for international peace and security. IIT Bombay study highlights the role of mangroves in mitigating tsunami and coastal flood impacts. India's social protection coverage doubles to 49%, says ILO chief. In our first news for the day, we bring you key insights from the latest report by advocacy body Access Now on internet shutdowns in 2024. The report highlights a record number of government-imposed restrictions worldwide, with India leading the list. According to the findings, global internet shutdowns reached an all-time high, with 296 recorded shutdowns across 54 countries in 2024. This marks an increase from 283 shutdowns in 2023. Among the nations most affected, Myanmar recorded the highest number at 85 shutdowns, followed closely by India with 84, Pakistan with 21, and Russia with 19. Together, these four countries accounted for 71% of all global shutdowns. Beyond just numbers, the report raises serious human rights concerns. Out of the total shutdowns, 72 were directly linked to severe human rights abuses, including war crimes, police brutality, and airstrikes. Focusing on India, the country saw 84 shutdowns in 2024, the highest recorded in any democracy. These restrictions affected 16 states and territories. The primary reasons cited for these shutdowns include protest, elections, communal violence, and even examinations. Now, turning to the legal framework governing internet shutdowns in India, they are regulated under the Telecommunications Temporary Suspension of Services Rules 2024, introduced as part of the Telecommunications Act 2023. These rules mandate that suspension orders must include detailed justifications, geographical scope, and the specific services affected. Additionally, no shutdown can exceed a duration of 15 days. As for the authorities responsible for imposing such restrictions, orders at the national level can only be issued by the Union Home Secretary, while at the state level, the Secretary to the state government in charge of the Home Department holds this authority. Furthermore, Section 144 of the erstwhile CRPC, now Section 163 of the Bharatiya Nagrik Suraksha Sanhita, is frequently used by authorities to impose these restrictions. The landmark Anuradha Bhasan case of 2020 remains an essential reference point in discussions on internet restrictions. The Supreme Court ruled that any internet shutdown must be temporary, lawful, necessary, and proportionate, emphasizing the importance of due process and accountability in imposing such measures. Internet shutdowns in 2024 have raised significant concerns across various domains. According to a top 10 VPN report, India suffered an economic loss of $322 million due to these shutdowns. Beyond financial implications, Internet restrictions have also been deemed a violation of fundamental rights, as highlighted in the Anuradha Bhasan case 2020, where the Supreme Court ruled that indefinite shutdowns are unconstitutional. Additionally, such restrictions negatively impact the right to trade under Article 19, Clause 1, Subclause G of the Constitution, disproportionately affecting digital businesses, particularly small traders who rely on online payments. Moreover, educational disruptions have been a major issue, as internet access is considered part of the right to education and the right to privacy under Article 21, as reaffirmed in the Fahima Shirin vs. State of Kerala 2019 case. In conclusion, while internet shutdowns are often justified as measures to maintain security and public order, their increasing frequency raises critical questions about digital rights, freedom of expression, and access to information. The findings of this report urge policymakers and authorities to ensure that such restrictions are used judiciously and in alignment with legal and constitutional safeguards. Moving on, the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways, or MORTH, released its annual report 2024-25, which highlights India's expansive road network and key infrastructure developments. According to the report, India has the world's second largest road network of around 63.45 lakh kilometers. Now, let's take a closer look at the key highlights of the report. A significant portion of the road network consists of the National Highway or NH network, which has seen an impressive 60% expansion from 91,287 kilometers in 2014 to 1.46 lakh kilometers at present. This rapid expansion is complemented by an increased pace of NH construction, which has grown 2.8 times, reaching 33.8 kilometers per day in 2023 to 24, up from 12.1 kilometers per day in 2014 to 15. Moving on to financial investments, the report highlights a substantial rise in MORTH's capital expenditure or CAPEX, which has surged 5.7 times from 2013 to 14 to an impressive 3.01 lakh crore rupees in 2023 to 24. Additionally, 25,900 crore rupees has been raised under the Infrastructure Investment Trust or InvIT model, further boosting road infrastructure funding. Shifting focus to state road transport undertakings or SRTUs, the report points to a concerning trend. A total of 58 SRTUs have reported a consolidated net loss of approximately 30,000 crore rupees, marking a 68% increase in just 3 years. This financial distress is primarily attributed to factors such as low fleet utilization, rising fuel costs, and the financial burden of free bus travel schemes. On a positive note, MORTH is embracing new technologies to enhance road and bridge construction. The introduction of biobinders derived from agricultural waste is revolutionizing bituminous road construction. Meanwhile, ultra-high performance fiber reinforced concrete or UHPFRC is being used in bridge construction to improve durability and load-bearing capacity. Additionally, innovations such as graphene modified asphalt or GIPAVE is being deployed to improve the performance and longevity of asphalt pavements, along with gap-graded rubberized bitumen or GGRB, which incorporates rubber particles into the bitumen mix. Furthermore, the adoption of alternative materials is shaping the future of road infrastructure. Materials such as geosynthetics, coir and jute composites, steel and iron slag, copper and zinc slag, biobitumen, biocement, recycled glass aggregate, graphene-enhanced concrete, and silica fume are being utilized to improve sustainability and efficiency in construction. In conclusion, the integration of cutting-edge technologies and sustainable materials is set to redefine the future of India's road infrastructure. Moving ahead, we bring you key highlights from the recent meeting of the Western Zonal Council, where discussions revolved around the significant contribution of the Western region to India's economic growth. Let's start with an understanding of the Western Zonal Council itself. It is one of the 5 zonal councils established under the States Reorganization Act of 1956 and comprises the states of Goa, Gujarat, Maharashtra, and the Union Territory of Dadra and Nagar Haveli and Daman and Diu. Now, moving on to the region's contribution to India's economy. The Western region plays a crucial role in the nation's economic landscape. It contributes 25% to India's GDP, second only to the southern region, which contributes around 30%. To put this into perspective, the northern region contributes 18.5%, the central region accounts for 13.6%, while the eastern region stands at 12.5%. This data highlights a regional disparity. Furthermore, trade plays a vital role in this region's economic significance. The western region handles over half of India's trade with the world and serves as a gateway for global trade to the northern and central regions. Now, shifting our focus to the causes of such regional disparities, several factors contribute to this uneven economic development. Historically, British policies favored resource-rich cities like Kolkata, Mumbai, and Chennai, leading to concentrated economic growth. Geographically, the availability of natural resources, ports, and raw materials has resulted in uneven development, whereas difficult terrain, such as in the Himalayan and northeastern states, and disaster risk in others, poses significant challenges. Economically, inadequate infrastructure, including transport, power, and technology, along with the dominance of primary economic activities, has hindered growth in certain regions. Moreover, governance plays a crucial role, as industries prefer developed states with efficient governance systems and policy continuity, further widening regional gaps. To address these disparities, several strategies have been implemented. The Aspirational Districts Program, or ADP, has been launched to transform 112 of the most underdeveloped districts across the country. Alongside a similar effort, the Aspirational Block Program, or ABP, which is being implemented along the same lines. In addition, infrastructure development is being prioritized through projects such as the PM Gati Shakti National Master Plan, Bharat Mala and Sagar Mala, aimed at boosting connectivity. Furthermore, Niti Aayog is promoting both cooperative and competitive federalism to ensure balanced development across states. To support this, state governments are being provided with development funds in the form of reform-linked loans and special assistance to encourage capital investment and economic growth. In conclusion, the Western region stands as a vital pillar of India's economy. However, the discussion on regional disparities remains crucial. Addressing these disparities requires a multi-pronged approach involving infrastructure development, policy reforms, and economic incentives.
Moving ahead, we bring you a crucial report released by the United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification, or UNCCD, on land restoration for international peace and security. The report highlights how cooperation in managing shared natural resources and restoration ecosystems can lay the groundwork for broader political agreements and even prevent conflicts. Now, let's take a closer look at the link between land degradation and global conflicts. Land degradation can trigger a chain reaction of socio-economic challenges, ultimately leading to instability. For instance, the loss of economic opportunities due to degraded land can push affected communities towards criminal activities like smuggling and human trafficking. Food security, caused by recurrent crop failures and inflation, can escalate political and economic turmoil, as seen in Somalia. Another impact is human mobility. When land becomes uninhabitable, migration and displacement increase, creating further tensions. Additionally, land degradation leads to growing inequalities, pushing marginalized and vulnerable groups towards discrimination and exclusion. Governance also plays a significant role. Weak land-related governance structures can escalate conflicts, sometimes even across borders. A case in point is the Amazon rainforest, where weak environmental governance has led to disputes among Brazil, Peru, and Colombia. So how can land restoration be leveraged for international peace? The UNCCD report identifies 5 key enablers to promote peace in conflict-affected areas through ecosystem restoration. First, technical and scientific collaboration can provide a neutral ground for shared goals. Second, inclusive dialogue must be prioritized in transboundary ecosystem restoration efforts. Third, establishing transboundary governance mechanisms can serve as confidence-building measures. Fourth, adopting conflict-sensitive approaches to land restoration can foster trust and cooperation among stakeholders. And lastly, capacity building is essential to enhance dialogue between different parties involved. Moving forward, the report also highlights some flagship initiatives for land restoration. Vertical climate funds are among the primary financial mechanisms, with funding directed towards designated state institutions, government ministries, and international organizations. Another key approach is through carbon market mechanisms, which focus on projects like avoided conversion, afforestation, reforestation, and improved forest management. The UN Peace Building Fund, or PBF, is also making efforts to expand cross border programming, ensuring that restoration initiatives have a broader impact. Additionally, the Peace Forest Initiative, or PFI, a flagship program of the UNCCD, specifically targets ecosystem restoration in conflict affected areas. Clearly, land restoration is not just an environmental issue, it is a critical factor in maintaining peace and stability worldwide. As nations work towards sustainable development, such initiatives serve as stepping stones for a more secure and cooperative future. Moving ahead, let's focus on a significant study by IIT Bombay that highlights the crucial role of mangroves in mitigating tsunami and coastal flood impacts. According to the study, emergent coastal vegetation, including mangroves, acts as a natural defense system, significantly reducing the damage caused by tsunami waves to coastal infrastructure. But what exactly is emergent vegetation? These are aquatic plants rooted in soil with stems, leaves, and flowers emerging above the water surface. Now, let's talk about mangroves. These are emergent trees with sturdy submerged roots, stiff stems, and trunks that reduce wave forces and act as natural bioshields against extreme ocean disasters. Let's take a look at some key characteristics of mangroves. They represent the littoral forest ecosystem and are known as halophytes, meaning they tolerate salt. Their unique root structure includes blind roots called pneumatophores, which assist in respiration. Mangroves thrive in intertidal zones of tropical and subtropical regions and typically grow between 8 to 20 meters tall. Interestingly, they reproduce through a process known as viviparity, where seeds germinate on trees before falling to the ground. But beyond coastal protection, mangroves serve multiple vital roles. They help improve water quality by filtering out nutrients and sediments. They also support biodiversity by providing nursery, feeding, and breeding grounds for a variety of species, including crabs, prawns, birds, reptiles, and mammals. Additionally, mangroves contribute to food and livelihood security. They are a source of essential nutrients such as protein, omega-3 fatty acids, and vitamins, while also serving as grazing grounds for livestock and a source of fuel woods and charcoal. Mangroves also play a critical role as carbon sinks, storing an average of 394 tons of carbon per hectare. Their impact on coastal protection is immense, as they lower propagation speeds, inundation depths, and overall flood extent by slowing down and redirecting storm surges while attenuating wind and swell waves. However, mangroves are under severe threat. According to the IUCN, 50% of mangrove ecosystems are at risk of collapse. The main threats include coastal development, deforestation for agriculture and shrimp farming, climate change, and the consequent sea level rise and increased frequency of cyclonic storms. Clearly, mangroves are indispensable to coastal resilience. Protecting these ecosystems is crucial in safeguarding communities from natural disasters and ensuring long-term environmental stability. In a significant development, India's social protection coverage has doubled to 49%, according to the latest World Social Protection Report 2024-26 by the International Labour Organization. This marks a sharp rise from 24% in 2021, highlighting the country's progress in extending social protection benefits beyond healthcare. So, what exactly is social protection? It provides essential benefits to individuals facing risks across their life cycle, whether it's unemployment, disability, or general poverty and social exclusion. Now, why is social protection so significant? For one, it fosters an inclusive society by offering security to children, women, senior citizens, and the young individuals. Additionally, it plays a vital role in tackling poverty, inequality, and social exclusion, factors crucial for climate adaptation. Beyond that, social protection supports the transition to greener jobs and promotes sustainable economic practices. However, despite this progress, several challenges remain. One major concern is the lack of comprehensive protection for informal workers. Gender disparity is another pressing issue. While 39% of men are covered by at least one social protection measure, only 26% of women have the same access. Furthermore, financing remains inadequate. India currently spends just 5% of its GDP on social protection, excluding healthcare, well below the global average of 13%. Another emerging challenge is automation. A McKinsey report estimates that AI could potentially disrupt around 12 million jobs in India by 2030. So, what is the way forward? Strengthening social protection by expanding unemployment insurance and pension schemes is essential, especially for informal workers. Addressing gender disparities through enhanced maternity benefits and greater access to pension schemes is another crucial step. Additionally, improving data collection, monitoring beneficiaries, and reskilling the workforce in the age of AI will be vital. India has already taken several initiatives to bolster social protection. Programs such as the National Rural Employment Guarantee Act, targeted public distribution system, and pension schemes like Pradhan Mantri Shram Yogi Man Dhan or PMSYM are key pillars. Additionally, insurance schemes like Pradhan Mantri Jeevan Jyoti Yojana and Pradhan Mantri Suraksha Bima Yojana have expanded coverage for vulnerable populations. Clearly, India has made remarkable strides in social protection, but sustained efforts are necessary to ensure comprehensive and equitable coverage. In today's Place in News, we will be discussing Germany, whose capital is Berlin. Friedrich Merz from the Christian Democratic Union of Germany is set to become the country's new chancellor. Let's go over a few key facts about Germany. It is located in Central Europe. The country shares its borders with Denmark to the north, Poland and Czech Republic to the east, Austria and Switzerland to the south, and France, Luxembourg, Belgium, and the Netherlands to the west. Additionally, it is bordered by the Baltic Sea and the North Sea in the north. Germany is also home to several prominent mountain ranges, including the Alps, where the highest peak, Zugspitze, is located, and the Black Forest. Moreover, its primary drainage system includes major rivers such as the Rhine and the Danube.
As we conclude today's main news, let's have a look at some quick updates. First adolescent girls club under Mission Shakti was launched in Nagaland. Such adolescent girls clubs are formed at both government and private schools for the girls in the age group of 10 to 19 years. The mission comes under the Ministry of Women and Child Development. Prime Minister congratulated farmers on completion of 6 years of Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi or PM Kisan scheme. It was launched in 2019 by the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare to supplement financial needs of all eligible landholding farmers' families in procuring various inputs. A study highlighted that black plastic products contain a flame retardant chemical called decabromodiphenyl ether or BDE 209 that had been linked to potential human health risks. Black plastic is often made from recycled electronic waste such as computers, TVs, and appliances. India's External Affairs Minister and heads of missions of 61 countries visited the Kaziranga National Park, which is located between the Brahmaputra River and the Karbi Hills in Assam, India. The park is famous for the largest population of Indian one-horned rhinoceros. According to a recent study, a hilly area surrounding Zagros Mountains in Iraq is being pulled into earth. Ancient Neo-Tethys oceanic slab is developing a significant tear from southeast Turkey to northwest Iran, causing it to split and sink into Earth's mantle. Prime Minister praised the efforts of Soliga tribe in increasing the tiger population in Biligiri Ranganatha Swami Temple Tiger Reserve. Soligas are nomadic people who live in the Biligiri Ranga Hills region of southern Karnataka and some parts of Tamil Nadu. A new study by the University of Bristol challenges the assumption that Paleognathae group birds are dumb. Paleognathae is a group of flightless birds that evolved early from dinosaurs. It includes birds such as ostriches, emus, rheas, cassowaries, and kiwis. China's ambassador to India recently posted on X about historic Tea Horse Road, which connected India to China through Tibet, although it's not as well known as Silk Road, which linked China and Europe. It was a crucial commercial pathway for centuries. Before we sign off, let's challenge your understanding in today's installment of Test Your Learning. Thank you for joining us. We hope you found this episode of News Today engaging. For the solutions to the quiz and to access the PDF version of News Today, remember to visit the provided links in the description.